Okay, you guys did such a good job that we're gonna do one more. And here's the deal, when you hear me sing, and nobody loved him as much as me. Right on, you echo it for me, all right? All right. Now this is kind of a true story. The ending may not be totally true, but kind of a Celtic sound. Well, I first saw him at a dance, and all it took was just one glance, and like a light that did descend, didn't know God made such men, didn't know God made such men. Well, he danced with flair, he dressed with style, I loved his eyes, I loved his smile, I loved the way he wore his hat. On his knees the lady sat, glittered and tittered and giggled with glee, but nobody loved him as much as me. Nobody loved him as much as me. Beautiful. You guys are right on the mark. Can we go on the road with you guys? Well, he sat down and talked of life and how he'd never taken a wife. Traveled the world, the places he'd seen, places he'd been I could only dream. Wild and crazy and funny and free, and nobody loved him as much as me. Nobody loved him as much as me. He was in my heart and in my head, and every night alone in bed, dream of us lying under the stars, searching for Venus and Saturn and Mars. Turn to me and he'd kiss my lips, my heart would swell like a merchant ship, riding the waves of a raging sea, but nobody loved him as much as me. Nobody loved him as much as me. So when I am old, my hair turns white, I'll always go back in my mind to that night under the stars, a magical kiss. He's the only man I'll miss. Wild and crazy and funny and free, and nobody loved him as much as me. Nobody loved him as much as me. So I sang this song for this gal, this songwriter thing in Calgary, and this lady comes up to me and she says, "Thanks very much for that Celtic tune, Eva, but you know what? It's not really a Celtic tune because there's no ending." She said, "What happened?" And I went, "Geez, I never thought of that." Like, yeah, and all Celtic tunes have to end in something like tragic, you know, like maybe he fell into the quicksand or the moors of Scotland and disappeared, or you overdosed on pills and float down the river in a canoe, something like that, you know. So I said, "You're right, I haven't." And so that night on my way home from that little gig, I wrote the last verse. And because it is a sad, tragic ending, we're going to slow it right down. I'm going to try out my Irish accent on you. Does that sound Irish to you? All right? All righty. Oh, alas, one day I realized I didn't see any love in his eyes. Oh, alas, our love was not to be. Nobody knows where he's buried but me. Nobody knows where he's buried but me. Wild and crazy and funny and free, and nobody knows where he's buried but me. Wild and crazy and funny and free, and nobody loved him as much as me.